Today, we are talking simple ways to make your voice more attractive and powerful. Now, I already know from this title, it's going to be a good one. Our guest is Stephanie Wall. She is an author, speaker, and coach. Let's welcome her to the bandwidth. Welcome, Stephanie.
Hello, Rosie. Rosie, you know I'm already loving your opening. And listen, I love the fact you said, look, basically, let's do it. Let's do it. Isn't that the hardest thing with anything is just getting started?
Absolutely. For me too, for all of us, but we have to do it, right? We have to do it.
Gotta do it. If not us, then who? And as a matter of fact, I'm going to say anybody that's listening and watching every week, coming on here trying to get the nerve to do it. And I'll need you to go ahead and do it because I know you're getting tired of watching everybody else that you're saying, I can do what she do. I can do that. Do it. I promise you, you can do it. I'm sorry, I went off. This is my thing. I'm just passionate about this particular topic.
So let's just dive right on in. So how do you use your voice so people will listen?
So I'm going to tell you, here's the thing. They tell me that I like to say they call me Tower of Power because I'm 5'10". That's one, so I'm tall. Oh, yeah. But I got this heavy voice. When you heavy voice, people, my mama said heavy voice. The voice beats me to the room. It beats you there. But my smile is going to beat me in the room and my energy. And that's the first thing is bring your total self to the room. I found out that when I try to be anybody other than who I am, and when my self-esteem was at its worst, I tried to be everybody else because I thought everybody else was a better version of who I should be. But what I found was that was not authentic. And when I did that, nobody listened to me because it seemed, I love this term. I'm taking it back. I know if you don't know the term, you'll find out is I felt so plastic, right?
Oh,
I felt so plastic and everybody knew it. I wasn't being authentic. So it came off as phony. Yeah. And when you're phony, people can't receive your message because they can't get past your persona. So the first, let the mask slip. Just let it down and then be yourself. So I'm going to tell you that there's a couple of things that every speaker, and I don't care who you are, it works for all of us. Now, just recently, I did my in-person, we trying to get back to in-person. So I had an in-person speaking engagement in Richmond. So and only thing I knew about the person putting it on was we met on social media. She paid, she did the contract. I knew what I saw, my research. I never met her in person. So I met her first before when I got there. But when I got there that night, I checked into my hotel and I went right to the space where I was going to be speaking. But I was hoping, and I did, that on my way there, I would see some people because I needed to meet some people. Because here's the deal. You have to, somebody in the room has to already have warmed up to you. You need you think about pastors. You ever been at church and a pastor is always calling or deacon somebody, such and such. You know what I'm saying? Deacon, some mother so and such. They start calling out people's names.
Yeah,
that is by design. That is a technique, folks. But however, it's not only a technique. It's also it's real because folks we all like to hear our name, and we all. I promise you. Let me back up. When you go anywhere, make sure you always introduce yourself to somebody. You want to be like, hey, I'm the speaker of the mark. No, that's not, bring that down 10 notches. But just go in and don't really say who you are. Just mingle. So it was important that I got to know some folks. I went into the space A. Because I had already in my mind, prior to even getting there, in my mind, I already saw myself standing wherever it was going to be. And I saw myself finishing it up and everybody standing up, giving me a standing ovation. And I want you to do the same thing because this is the deal. If you don't believe you can get a standing ovation, you never will get one. If you don't believe that you can go in there and nail it, you never will do it. Not because you can't. And not because people don't want to give you a standing ovation. It's because whatever, and you all have heard before, it's all psychology. Whatever you think about, you bring about. So if you believe, it's back there with you. If somebody's going to say this when I go in there, yeah, they're going to say it because you're going to come up with that funky attitude and it's going to bring it out of them, right? But so here's the deal. When I make sure that I bring my authentic self, I prepare for it. And I make sure that I bring the same energy, no matter if it's one person or 1,000 folks.
And see, that's the thing. No, so I'm trying to bring it back to the video part, right? A lot of people, when they don't have anybody interacting, like right now, I can see you, we're talking. But sometimes when you go live, you may not have someone that you're talking to. So you have to get comfortable with kind of like speaking to just like one person in your head, because you know that person, you know who you're trying to help, and use that as a guide. And then I want to circle back with something that you said about being authentic. If you've never done this before, sometimes you don't even know, but start and do something and then look at your replay and be like, oh, that looked fake. Like you say, plastic. Like, no. And then slowly but surely you'll start letting loose and your real self will come, to pass. It will come because you're like, this is not me. I ain't got time to be looking at this. This is not me.
And here's the deal. Somebody right now. Okay, so I say I'm an ambivert, right? Because I am very much an extrovert. But when I reach my extrovert limit, right, when it's time to pare it down, I'm an introvert. I'm done. I don't want no company. I'm good. I don't need no more company, right? No more phone calls, no more anything. So if you are an introvert, but you really truly are, you have something to share, and the only way to share is you have to either say it or write it. Either way, you have to engage. But you cannot move forward because at some point you have to say it, but you're terrified, and you're looking at us and you're thinking, oh my gosh, they are so animated, they're so energy, they got so much, they look very comfortable. That's because we practiced it.
Yeah.
I don't care what. I want you to think about a time. Think about a time when you were like not really good at something, but then you started doing it and you did it a lot, or you did it several times. After a while, you got so good at it, you could do it with your eyes closed, i.e. a job. Who's not afraid the first day of work? You're not nervous, like, you don't even know what your job is. Nobody, everybody, you don't know what your job is. You're
sweating.
Yeah. You're like, oh my God, look, I'm gonna go in there and say something crazy. I'm having the right clothes. I mean, what is it? Yeah. After about a week, by week 2, 3, you're not even rushing to get there anymore. Right? You got a little comfortable. You're a little bit more comfortable than you were the first day. The same thing goes with speaking. Now I want to tell you all this. And Rosie said it. If you are now with videos, the first time I was like, this is weird. Like, when you go from in person to virtual, you're like, okay, some people just cannot get to, I can't get the engagement. Oh, yes, you can. I'm like a queen at it now. I got them. I can get this thing. I'm talking about, go ahead and put it in the chat. Give me your emojis. I want,
That's right.
Yeah, talk to the screen. Because see, some of y'all, I'm looking at Rosie, but I'm telling you right now, somebody later on, you watching this, and you just go ahead on, give me that, go ahead and give me the crying emoji, if you know what I'm talking about. Just go ahead on and give me put the hat on. If you come into this party, go ahead and give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever is your thing, put it in there, but use those keys. But here's the deal: no matter who you're talking to, look, y'all, this I know it's gonna feel like a secret, but it's not. When you do those lives, this side I practiced. You go live, there's every chance you get, and I have a challenge, and it really, the challenge is called transform your world, let your voice be heard. And this is it. Everybody, when the challenge is over for the day. This is Stephanie Wall. I finished challenge number 1. Boop. Challenge number 1. Boop. And if you Steph, this is Stephanie Wall. However you want to do it, but you do it enough, then you will get more comfortable with it. But you will never get comfortable if you don't start. And don't worry about whether it's one person or 1,000 people. Let me tell you a secret, because some of y'all on social media right now, and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, nobody likes my posts because nobody's looking at them, because they're not liking or loving or whatever. But let me tell you, is my friend Terrence saying, I see you peeping, but you ain't speaking. Okay.
They watching. They are watching.
Mm-hmm. They are watching. Mm-hmm. They are watching. And if you even start acting like you talking about you going to do something, oh, they really are watching. Mm-hmm. And it's not, but it's okay. And here's the deal. Are you in the real world, before we had this virtual world? How do we engage people? One person at a time. If you want to make a difference in the life of the masses, start by making a difference in the life of one person. I'm convinced that to get to my 1 million people lives, I'm going to transform in 2022, one person at a time. If I look, I'm talking to Rosie. Rosie has her own audience. So if they're listening, no matter what, by osmosis, right? Well, by just virtue of hearing us talking, something is going to change. There will be a transformation. Something's going to click. So there you go. However many people that is, that goes in the numbers. You see, that's the difference. Don't focus on the big thing. I need you to focus on the small thing. And when you're looking whether it's your phone or the computer, I need you to look into that dot. I need you to talk to the person, talk to whoever that person, whose life are you trying to change? And guess whose life you really are trying to change? I'm going to give you all the big brouhaha secret of why, who's the avatar for real of every person that has a business. You are your avatar.
Yourself. I know it. Because
You
the person that you make up is like resembles you once you do the little exercise anyway.
Yes, it's you.
Yes.
It's either you today, you yesterday, or who you want to be tomorrow. It's you. So why don't you just go ahead and talk to you? How would you talk to you if you were listening to you and you needed you to fix them or help them, or not? We ain't fixing nobody, they're fixing themselves. But you needed you to give them some tips, some advice. If you wanted to tell you where your level of brilliance lies, how would you share that information with you?
Absolutely. And that's what it is, because I don't care if it's how to bake a cake. You know how you felt. You was intimidated when you was trying to learn how to bake a cake with the flours that you shifted and all that stuff. Or even bobbering. I'm just thinking anything that's coming up to my head now. Like, you don't know. You scared. You do bobber. You going to nick somebody. Like, you're nervous. Your hand shaking. You just know how you felt when you first started. And like you said, just speak to that, because you have been in their shoes. Even if you had the 10% edge. A lot of people feel like, oh my God, what am I going to teach somebody? You know 10% more than somebody out there. Tell them what you know. I want to learn more about you, and I'm sure the audience does too. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background.
All right. Thank you, Rosie. So listen, you all going to find out that Rosie might have to tell me, girl, bring it down. I got so much energy. And somebody explained it to me the other day. They said, you know what? You have so much energy, but it's a good energy. They said that sometimes I bet you're somewhere, you're bursting at the seams, like, come on, let's get this thing moving. I am the person. Yes, I am. My name is Stephanie. And if I'm in your meeting and I'm running the meeting, I'm in your group, I'm the one thing, I'm the idea person. I'm the creative. I'm the one throw about 1 million ideas out at you. I may not be the one that implements the thing. You understand? I can get it going. But I'm not the plan person. But what I am is I am a person, not a leader that you, in the sense of I'm a leader, but I'm a speaker. And so are you. Do you know that everybody in every field and every area, everywhere is a speaker? And so I will tell you that Stephanie Wall created Speaker Stephanie LLC because she didn't know that she was a speaker. But I created Speaker Stephanie because I believe that every woman, that's who I serve, I super serve women, that every woman has a voice and that her voice needs to be heard. We've heard this 1,000 times. Everybody has a story. And Dr. Sherwood, I'm going to use her version, but she says that your story is about you, but it ain't for you. Now we know it isn't, but we're going to say ain't. That's what we are right now. And so I created Speaker Stephanie LLC. Now that was for the women. I want to make sure that women, we can make sure that they can use their voices, because their voices elevate them to their next, whatever that is. And we can talk about that later. But then I created her story, our story, 1 hour of power. And that's specifically for women who've experienced trauma, specifically domestics or sexual assaults, any type of assaults and trauma in their lives, because we all have a story. And oftentimes we cannot elevate to our next. We can't use our voices because we've lost our voice, not in the sense of physically, but because psychologically, because our self-esteem is so low, we could walk on it, and people have been walking on us. So I want them to release the story and release themselves out of the story jail by telling their story in a safe place. I created Her Story, Our Story, 1 Hour of Power. And then, of course, 1 million lives transformed, which is my brand, which is my life. Because I'm committed, and watch me, and I hope you do the same. As they say, each one reach one. We should all seek to change the life of anybody that comes in our space. I'm just being intentional about it. So that's a little bit about me, Stephanie Wall. And I like to say the Tower of Power, and Stephanie Wall, and I am getting it all. Before you do anything, whatever it is, I don't care what it is, go ahead and use the tool we all using anyway. Google University, YouTube University. Let me explain something to you before. Okay, you want to be a speaker. Who are your favorite speakers? You should be following them on YouTube, watching and learning. This is a time, this is a unique time. 2020's like set us all up for grandeur, right? For greatness. Because here's the deal. Once upon a time, there were certain awesome gurus. They were untouchable. They were like they were over there somewhere. They were over there. We couldn't touch them. My pockets couldn't hire them. You understand? But the pandemic made it so they dropped right into my living room for the low price of free $99.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm saying, if you telling me, I'm going to use the example. I mean, listen, I saw on my social media, I was like, everybody got a masterclass. Everybody, Alicia Keys has a masterclass. So if you want to learn how to sing or play the piano, there's no excuse. She got a masterclass, and it's reasonable. It's not way over there somewhere. But more importantly, here we got Rosie has a show. She brings on different people that in this field of expertise. And this is what you want to learn how to do. And she brings the people before you. If you are not locked in to this show and anything else she's offering, because you're already following, so there's something about, you've already connected. Because here's you all, this is the thing. And I know, Rosie, I know I might be off topic, but I got to cover this. Whether it's everything is sales. So, folks say, I can never be in sales. Well, I'm here to tell you that everything is sales. No, people don't buy your product. People don't do business with you. People don't come. They don't come. You don't go to a certain doctor over and over again. I know some of you and some of us go drive all the way across town past certain stores. You might go past the one grocery store, 10 grocery stores to go to the one you like.
Your favorite.
Right? Preach. Come on now. And let's not talk about no hairstylists and nail salons. Somebody, Lord, we don't care nothing about whatchamacallit them around the corner. My girl that moved across town. Now I got to go down to a whole nother. I mean, she might be in a whole nother county, but that's what I'm going.
Let me gas up and go, because that's where I'm going.
I told you I live here in Howard County, but baby, I go to Bowie because that's where my right. But this is the thing. If you are providing a great service, and when I say great service, they've connected with you. If somebody connected with you, then here's the deal. They had to connect with you to do business. They only do business with you for 2 reasons. There's 2 reasons only. You either, whatever you were providing is either taking away a pain, or it just really makes them feel good about themselves. It makes them feel good. One or the other, period. And you know this because you watch television. You know, I ain't tell you no stories. When you watch television or you're on social media, and next thing you know, the algorithm is watching your behind. And next thing you know, you looked one time at something, you tapped on something one time. Next thing you know, that thing popping up every 5 minutes in your door. You're like, why is this shirt why all of a sudden I want this? And don't let you look at television and at nighttime, they're going to show you something you ain't got no business, some pizza. It look like it's got piping hot, some cake or something oozing down the side. You don't even think about it. Next thing you done went to the refrigerator, you done got in the car, drove. See, it's not brainwashing, but really, it really is It is physiological and it is psychological, because you all know how it's all psychology.
Marketing and advertising.
Wow, come on, preach it. And so I'm telling you, you are a speaker. And how you always show up is show up the same, be authentic, because people are checking your message. If you say you're one thing today and then you go on somebody else's platform and you go and you're another, they're like, what kind? She said, that's, if you, I don't care, you can go on my YouTube right now and you bet she's the same crazy woman who just, she's serious about that doggone talking. And when I say talking, because that's what you should be doing, it should be like a talk. They should feel that comfortable with you. They should feel like I could call her and like, I feel like I could just call her and be like, we could be friends. That's the kind of emotion you need to invoke, because if they like you, they want to do business with you. And trust the theory out the next time you go to a restaurant. If the waiter or waitress comes and they just seem not, they can be just nice, but they give you a story. So they touch you, your emotion, which makes you look at them like, and now you're connecting them with, oh, they remind me of my son, my daughter, my sister, my cousin, right? Somebody. And now you want to do more. You will tip them way more. You will want to do more for them because they connected with you, versus the person just comes and just don't give you no backstory, don't give you anything. I call it the American Idol. You know, American Idol, they gotta give you a backstory before they tell you start singing.
Yes. The connection. It's all about the connection.
It's about the connection. We can be saying all that. The connection.
That's what it's about. Like you said, with doing business, we do business with people that we connect. Of course, you may go to some place for, one time, you're like, oh, I ain't never going back there. But like you said, if you feel welcome, if you feel that that person is authentic, you're going to keep coming back. Now, everybody is not your cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. You should not be likable to all. That's one thing. You should not be, or you're not going to really be speaking to the person that you need to be. People are going to be turned off, and that's okay, because guess what? They were never going to buy from you, or they was never going to, be a true person that, follows whatever you're doing. So let them go. It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Rosie, I just told somebody tonight, I said, she was talking, she saw me, that's how I met her. She saw me at an event, and now she was a guest on my show. And she said, I've been there all day, and I was, everybody was good. And you came out there, and I was like, oh my God. I said, you said, I am, she is me, and I am she. I said, that's how you connected. She said, yes. She said, you gave me permission to be exactly who I am. I said, here's the deal. But I said, while you enjoyed my presentation, you enjoyed the talk, you and a lot of people, trust and believe there was somebody that was saying just this. Okay, she doing the most. She doing, she is doing the most. I said, and they wanted to not like me, but the information, they probably said, I don't particularly care for her, but the information she gave, look, but I'm gonna go ahead and take these notes. She give it that content. She made a point. That was a good point. I ain't particularly care, right? And they might have been the same people that were when I got off the stage, which every speaker should be doing when you get off the stage, because there's more than one stream of income. First of all, you really we are, the speaking is not what you do. Speaking is your vehicle to something else. So when I got off the stage, you met me at the author's table, and they bought every book that I had on that table. And why? Sold out. And they bought, not because I'm the most prolific writer. They bought everything on the table because they bought who I was. Yeah. And because I spoke to, and I just was being me. I wasn't even listening. I met all of them that morning, pretty much. And I came early. And here's the deal, if you're a speaker, if you're speaking in person, always get there early so you can, see, know your audience. Then the event planner can give you a lot of information, but you still need to meet. See what you got in the room. See what kind of women you got in the room. Because if you were in the room, obviously the room I was in, it was a weekday, but I could tell that that room was all women, all middle age, mostly African American. And they had a DJ, They had the vendors in the outside and inside and everything, right? And I could see that there were people, there were women of faith. So what did Stephanie did? DJ, when they called me up and it's time for me to come up, could you please play this first song as soon as they hand me the mic? Kurt Franklin's "Where My People At."
No,
I'm stumped.
Know your audience. Know your audience,
baby. And I was like, "Where my people at?" I was stumped. I said, "Play stomp," and that they were like, first they were like, and then they was like, "You know what? And after that, everybody was on their feet. White people, black people, green people, they were up on their feet and they loved it. And then I would DJ, got it. And then I played Jessica, what's her name? Carrie Underwood. The Champion with her and Ludacris. That thing can, and I said, now, you know, listen, I know y'all saved and sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost and all that good stuff. I said, but when you get out in that real world, the real world music, you got to have some music you puppet you on your way to work to let the people know who they mess with. We know who's they messing with, but go on, get some Ludacris down in your spirit too. And they loved it.
Yeah. You ain't saved 100% of the time. Like, no,
you ain't saved.
You ain't saved.
Before you were saved and sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost, did you what? But my topic was how to use your voice to build any business. Right. And so they were like, no, okay. Right. Because at the end of the day, you use your voice. I don't care what it is. It right now in this almost post-COVID, I guess. Ish.
Not really.
I'm not really. Well, that's what they call it. I'm trying to figure this thing out. We still wear masks, right? But
okay, and the numbers going up. So
and the numbers are going up. Let's talk about this terminology. But when you think about it, in your community, and even where you are, okay, Rosie, how many, like, can't you see the businesses, just by looking at them, they were unable to pivot. They just could not get out of their own head. In their head, they were waiting for this pandemic to be over so we can go back to doing what we knew, but they couldn't put some chairs outside and do outside. They couldn't do curbside. They just they could physically, but they couldn't get their head wrapped around it. You know, like, yeah, I know sometimes it costs money and they probably think we can't afford those apps. Well, what about
going out of business? Can you afford that?
Right. Listen, what about closing doors? And so
exactly.
And here's the deal. It wasn't that, look, they already had the tools. If you were already on social media, you didn't have to get brand new. Right. It was like,
well, they may not was using it, because I always like to use the analogy of like a boutique. You know, you had your boutique, people were coming in and out, you had that foot traffic, but guess what? The pandemic. You know, even if you thought, like they said, it was only going to be 2 months, you know, it didn't. But I always like to use that example because guess what? You don't have that traffic anymore. But guess what you have? All this inventory. Now you need to be your own model, get on their social media, which is free, and sell these items. So you have to be able to pivot. And like you said, so many people were scared to do that. And doors closed. I just read something on social media that this guy, they shut down his nightclub. He opened it up for Black-owned businesses and had like juice bars and stuff going. You have to think outside the box.
That is innovative, and I like that. Let me say this one guy he have his own, designer. And he's like, oh my God, the pandemic. Let me tell you about that. Let's talk about this now. He go live on Facebook. He threw up a little white sheet. Now we didn't know it was a white sheet, but couple friends, you come over here, put on, look, model this for me. They model this. We on there. He let us know he gonna go live. I didn't right, regular old live. We look and we on there. What, I like that. If you like that, put me or 72 or whatever. And when you say, look, you want that, put a star or whatever you want to do. And when you get finished, while you are talking, somebody then sent you, look, in your messenger, go on here, here's the PayPal. You pay for that, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Listen to me, hundreds of dollars. I know I bought all kinds. I was like, wait a minute.
Ain't going nowhere because you're stuck in COVID, but he got you opening up that wallet. No.
He said, if Amazon Prime can get y'all money, why I can't get it?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then, but let me tell you this. Some of us, I don't know what's really going on, because I was like, look, first of all, we go on YouTube right now. If I see one more makeup artist, hairstylist, but they doing it, and I can't stop watching. I'm stuck in it. So if you are a barber, let's talk to y'all barbers. If you are a barber and you are like in your town, you are the truth. I mean, people come far and wide to come to you, and you are not on YouTube showing them people how you are transforming lives. You are losing money. And me tell you why I know. If I see one more teacher, white, black, or green, or otherwise, they are getting in planes, trains, and automobiles, going to towns different places, because they want to get into the chair of some barber who now branded himself on YouTube, and they probably not even as good as you. My ladies, my stylists, my professional stylists, if you don't get on YouTube, get your YouTube shop just free for the low price of free $99 YouTube. If you don't get you a camera, matter of fact, you don't need a camera, get your phone on a tripod and show the people how you train. Because you know y'all magicians. If you ain't showing these transformations, I mean, I'm seeing every kind of everything. Show the transformations. If you are a makeup artist and you ain't showing how you are transforming, like you crazy. If you're not a cook, so I don't care what it is. If there's something you know how to do uniquely, you good at it. You are good at it, and people want to pay you or want to say, can you do that for me? Stop doing it for free. Start charging people. Get you a dog. You ain't got you need to PayPal, cash. Y'all got Cash App. Cash App you, and keep it moving. Keep it simple.
Yeah. Zelle is free if you got a banking account.
And then you forgot about Zelle, and then Zelle, and that's even better because that's going to the bank. Yo, exactly. It's so crazy. And I'm telling you, look at matter as I told somebody the other day, it's like, well, what do you mean use your voice to build any business? Look at YouTube. I bet y'all's attorneys and doctors and everybody. There are attorneys and doctors. They're leaving their practices to go and be coaches and consultants. Why? It's more cost effective. Why? It's less stress. Why? Because guess what they are now becoming? Speakers. Them jokers on, if you don't have a newsletter, and if in your newsletter, you don't have a little video you made on your phone, like I like to use the example of it's an attorney, any attorney, lots of them, and they're on there teaching. Listen, if you get pulled over for DUI, these are the 3 things you need to know how. And I mean, it's like a 30-second clip. Guess what they just did? Built a credibility. Now everybody be like, I know what I'm going to this law practice of so and so, because he's gonna tell me how to do that, right? And then when you get in trouble, who you calling? Him or her. So I'm telling you, use your voice to build your business. Use your voice to elevate yourself. If you want a job and you've been working there for 5 minutes or 5 years or 50, whatever it is, and you've been looking at that office, looking at the next position or the next promotion, but you're not getting it. And but what you're doing is talking about, oh, I never get it because everybody, around here, they got their favorites and they got all this. And some of that may be true, but let me tell you what else is true. You're not putting your neck out there. You're not putting yourself in a position to be looked at and be seen. And the reason that you're not doing it is because you're not confident in your ability to speak. And the only way that you'll get better is by speaking. And let me just say about fear. And I want to say Les Brown said it. He said, we can fear everything and run, or face everything and rise. I choose to rise. I choose to rise. And fear, and you all know the fear. Fear is got something to do with a lack. A lack of something. You have a lack of a skill, a lack of a talent or ability, all of which you can get. You don't know how to cook, you can go learn how to cook. You don't know how to public speak, you can go learn how to do. There's nothing you can't learn how to do. With one of my careers, I retired from our local police department as a commander. And people said, oh, I could never be a police officer. I was like, You're right. If you say you can't, then you can't. Listen, I've never been a doctor, but if I wanted to be, I could go to school and and I could be a doctor. I could be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You can be anything that you want to be, is you choose to do it. But you have to, there's a requirement. There is some things you need to do.
And you psych yourself out. Like you said, I can never be. I mean, if that's something that you're passionate about, you can do it. Like, I don't know. I mean, with different people think different ways, and you don't know how they grew up and, things that, was, spoken to them, but you can overcome all of that, with therapy or whatever. But don't psych yourself out and say you can't do something, because you can. That just really, that always bothers me, because it is part of, like you said, your confidence and being, having that fear. But you need to let that go and just take one step at a time. And then you look back and be like, look where I'm at.
Right. And then you be real all mad, like, why didn't I can't believe I don't believe all this time. It's kind of like, and I hate to use this example because, I'm sure y'all didn't experience this. It's probably just me. You know how everybody had that one boyfriend that we were sweating a little bit too hard. We were so sad, then holding on to him, and our heart was broken. I mean, you felt like it was physically hurting. And then once it was over, we looked back and was like,
he a joke. Like,
he wasn't even all that. Why was I sweating him like that? And you kind of shamed, like, why was I sweat? Why did I act like I wasn't like a dime? Why was I act like I was lucky to have him? Shoot. Yeah. And vice versa, gentlemen. It might be, look, y'all, everybody stop it. No, everybody stop it. But it's the same thing. I promise you, listen, before you decide you can't do something, and before you have that little conversation, because this is what we do when we're afraid. I never wanted that anyway. That's not what I do. That's what they do. That's not something I could do. I never wanted to be a speaker. I'm not that type. But we give this whole litany of things that really any psychiatrist or psychologist would say, if you said it out loud, what you really meant was, I wish I knew how to do that. I wish I wasn't so afraid. I wish that, or not even I wish, I hope nobody recognizes that I have imposter syndrome. And therefore, I don't feel I even deserve to be right here. Yeah. So let's move on. Let's do this. Here's the deal. I challenge everybody, if you are somebody, now, if you are someone that never has spoken public, and that's not your thing. I mean, you've never so much as presented anything, standing up or sitting down or anything for anybody. We know that you just can't go bust out there. Some people can, but if you've never done it, and even the thought of it is, Rosie said, your palms just break. You break out in the sweat.
You're paralyzed. You're paralyzed.
You be like, me? Right. And then if you get up there, you come with all the because you are like,
that's okay. You did it now. You
right.
Did it.
You up there, doggone it. And here's the deal. And don't even sweat that, because I'm telling you right now, some of y'all bosses, some of y'all supervisors who up there all the time, they are umming and butting and anding. So, but I'm going to tell you, one of the best things is, seriously, I'm a speaker. But I took this training, and I took it for two reasons. One, I heard Les Brown and several other people tell me, and I actually did his training also. Because I said, look, if I want to be the best, remember I just told you all to follow and study, and invest with somebody that does it. But I said, okay. He said in one of our trainings, every great speaker, one, you never stop learning, but every great speaker is a member of, and they've gone through fully, the Toastmasters program. Now, I may be the only one. For years, I was looking at it, I was talking about it, I was thinking about it. I did a whole lot of, but I was like, and if I was being honest, I probably didn't want to go through it, because, Toastmasters, they cut card, they back there with the grammarian, Okay, she said 2 butts, 5, and you don't want, but the only way to get past is to do it, but understand that they're doing it to everybody, and you're gonna find out you don't get it. Now, let me knock on some wood. So far, so good that they haven't got me with any of the butts and ands. That's because I've been doing this before I went there. That is what the they ain't with the because that I'm real conscious of that thing. I want you all to practice it. Now, I have a girlfriend. She was every other second, and it can become distracting. You can have a great presentation. You might have, you are the one. But if you're so nervous that every other word is they didn't hear any of the other information because they're focusing on the and if you're not sure whether you're a speaker or you're not a speaker, if you are someone that's always being recorded, go back and listen to your last 3 or 4 recordings, and you'll hear it. And if you are transcribing your own, you wouldn't see it. And that in itself will make you stop. And the one thing that how I teach my folks, that's one of the cheat. This is y'all cheat for the night. When you feel or a but coming, just pause. It's okay. As a matter of fact, if you're a speaker, a good pause gives people like, what's she get ready to say? It causes anticipation. And then I want you to just take Toastmasters, because if you have a stuttering or stammering, I speak really quickly. And Toastmasters was really good for me because it helped me with my cadence. And then it helped me to watch them, which made me go through it. And then they also have a program, which you can do by yourself. You do the program online, and then you go in and you do your talks, and it's self-paced. So I would encourage everybody to do Toastmasters. My husband is not a speaker. I told him to do Toastmasters because he was feeling some kind of way about presenting. Let's do Toastmasters.
Yeah, I did it because I was in a corporate setting, and I did not think that I would be in front of this camera. I just did it because, I don't know, I guess because I was in a corporate and it came up. I don't know. I really do not know why I did it, but I did it not knowing what it will lead to in my future. And also even church helped me, with that, everybody gets you can't do nothing wrong in church. But I joined the hospitality when I was trying to get more intentional about public speaking. And that helped because I'm like, oh my God, I got to go up in front of all these people. But every little bit helped. But Stephanie, we could go on and on. But my last 2 questions for you is, how can people stay in contact with you, and what's next for you?
So everywhere you can find me at Speaker Stephanie. So I'm on social media as Speaker Stephanie, but you can also find me as 1 Million Lives Transformed. So Speaker Stephanie is my company. 1 Million Lives Transformed is my brand. Y'all understand that, but you got that. And then of course, my website is Speaker Stephanie LLC. If you go there, I'm sorry, speakerstephanie.com. If you go to speakerstephanie.com, you connect with me everywhere there. And what's next? Oh, so if you are a speaker, if you're an aspiring speaker, if you have a product and you speak about it, so therefore you are a speaker, then it's time for you to come on to the 1 Million Lives Transformed Conference, which is going to be way amazing. It's going to touch every country. But we lost count of how many countries, states, and like how far those tentacles are going to be out there. It's going to be amazing. So if that is something you're interested in, you just come to speakerstephanie.com, and there'll be a link there all about it. And we'll drop something here about the 1 Million Lives Transformed Conference, which is coming up. I am excited about it. And that is your opportunity. And of course, you're always, there's challenges and after challenges I have, but transform your world, let your voice be heard. Absolutely is starting. It's a 5-day free 99 speaking challenge, which starts on February the 7th. So if you are challenged with your speaking, come on, do the free challenge, and then get with Rosie so she can get you to your next.
There you go. A perfect combination. You'll help them with the public speaking and I help them get in front of that camera and go live. There you go. Thank you so much, Stephanie. This has been a great conversation. Like I knew once we, started talking and vibing that this was going to be a good one. So I know the audience got a lot of takeaways from that. But I want you to tell me in the comments, what is your biggest takeaway from today's discussion? Because I want to engage with you and talk to you about it. So definitely list that in the comment section. And then whatever you put, I want you to take action on it today. Oftentimes we take notes and we do all this stuff, but we never take action. So I want you to be intentional and I want you to take action on it. Also, here are some additional ways I can help and assist your Go Live journey. I want you to join my email community. We do weekly videos in there that motivate your Go Live journey. We have giveaways. We spotlight community members and have exclusive offers. So definitely go to my website. That first pop-up you see on my homepage, enter in your name and your email address, and voila, you will be a part of that email community. Shooting the Shits with Rosie. Are you watching that? I go live every Tuesday at 7:30, and we talk about any and everything about going live, your video journey. So tune in. If you are not watching, watch the videos that are already on my YouTube page. It's some good stuff there. My program, I'm doing this, I'm going live. It's a 4 weeks online program. I help you overcome mindset challenges. You get comfortable with the tools needed to go live. I help you navigate the various social media platforms. And then after all of that, you will become courageous enough to hit that go live button. My clients always surprise me. I always like seeing their growth from when they start or, and then they end. I get little messages that they want to, message me and say, guess what? I never spoke up, but guess what? I'm speaking up now. So that just makes me so overjoyed. So if you want to conquer that fear, definitely do. I'm doing this. I'm going live. My course, The Real Secrets to Gaining Confidence and Going Live, it's an online course. I created it to help women like you show up confidently on camera. It will help you get content confident, camera confident, and tech confident. Everything you need to build your brand and conquer video. So sign up for that and go directly to my website and you can get into that. If you find value in this video, again, subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and check out my other videos. Share this episode link with one person that you know one person that could benefit from this conversation that we had today. So share it. Sharing is caring. Also follow me on Facebook, Rosie Faulkner, and IG at Faulkner_Rosie. And feel free to DM me and let me know how I can personally support you. And how I always end my shows is the world is waiting for you to do only what you can. Your voice needs to be heard because it matters to someone. So let's turn on the camera, turn up the confidence, and tell your story. Until next time, bye-bye.